Emil Shekerdzhiiski, also a well-known face in the Bulgarian startup world.
Hello, thank you very much. Thank you very much, Angel, for being here. Thank you. Do we see each other? Only one face? Okay, so I'll introduce the guest again. Kamen Slavov, Fund of Funds. Vladimir Tomov, the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce. Alper Celen, Enhanced Ventures. And with us here, Angelov from Innovation Capital. So the formation of this panel is going to be you the first, present yourself one by one, what you're doing in Bulgaria, especially in spin-offs. So the stage is yours. Maybe we'll begin with Mr. Kamen Slavov.
Hello there, it's Kamen Slavov from the Fund of Funds. I'm really sorry that I cannot be with you physically because something came up in the office, but I'm really sorry that I cannot join you in this amazing city in Bulgaria. About the Fund of Funds, we have prepared a few slides and I'll go through them quite quickly. So the Fund of Funds is a state-owned vehicle which combines about 650 million euros of European funds. If we can go to the next slide, please. In order to structure and market the so-called financial instruments. Can we move to the next slide, please? Anyways, basically what we do is that we combine resources from several operational programs, meaning we intervene on the market with respect to thank you very much. With respect to several policy areas. One of them is business financing in general and tech transfer and innovation support in particular. So what we do is that we structure the so-called products from our side, which are, let's say, guarantees or what is more relevant in this case, venture capital funds. We market them, so we select our fund managers and we support the fundraising by allowing and designing our products in such a way that they attract private funds in addition to the public ones. Our fund managers that we have selected, from their end, they invest in the so-called final beneficiaries, which are the investees, basically. Can we have the next slide, please? Go through the. Thank you. So this is our portfolio. So the blue one is the interesting for this session. It's the so-called SME financing, where we act through most of the biggest banks in Bulgaria and through 5 funds as well on the market. We have sizable infrastructure business, which is debt related. So we support municipal infrastructure there. Next slide, please. This is what happened so far. In reality, based on the 650 million euros that have been invested by the state in the Fund of Funds, so almost everything is on the market now. And based on that, we have financed indirectly more than 2,000 companies, municipalities, and so on and so forth, mostly SMEs. These companies have received close to 1 billion, more than 1 billion leva of 500 million euros of different forms of financing, mostly debt, but maybe 30% of the, maybe 20% of that figure is equity. So what we see here is that the basic idea of the fund of funds works. So with €1 of public resources, we were able to attract maybe €2 of financing for our final beneficiaries. Next slide, please. Just to cover the future. Thank you. We expect to grow as any company does. So what you see here is the so-called next programming period, where we secure our own mandates from the different operational programs. If we are successful in our fundraising, we will be able to raise additional €1 billion. Maybe half of this will be channeled towards innovative SMEs, digitalization of companies, circular economy in companies, and so on and so forth. The rest will be channeled towards infrastructure. So we are really excited about the prospect of the fund of funds in its quest to support the venture capital in general in the country, and the financing of innovations and technospheric in particular. So this is all work in progress. Nevertheless, I'm going to share in the next slide, please, our intentions to finance technology transfer. So in the past, we have made attempts to create a dedicated technology transfer fund in Bulgaria. And then COVID happened and other things, but we were persistent with this dream. So provided that we've got the mandate, and it seems that we would, we are looking forward to structure a dedicated technology transfer fund in Bulgaria with a firepower of close to 60 million. So basically, this would be supporting innovative companies that make innovations on the market, spin-offs of large corporates, spin-offs of universities. We are looking forward, and as I said, we are very excited with this product. Once we've secured this funding, we'll be looking forward to receive as much feedback from the market as possible, and as ideas as possible from the ecosystem. What would be the best way to deploy this money? Because technology transfer in the country, we have been scratching our heads for a long time now how to approach this investment thesis. Is facing a number of challenges. Lack of tradition and abstraction is just a starter, and we are really hoping that through this product will be maybe a small part, but part of the solution that would lead the financial market in general towards supporting innovation in the country and technology transfer in particular. So I'll be more than happy to answer your questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Okay, the next I would like to invite Vladimir Tomov to present himself.
Thank you, Emil. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. If you can get closer to the microphone.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation to join this great event focused on the spin-offs. This is very important that we have started in Bulgaria to discuss how to support different scientists and students and other innovation projects in Bulgaria. Also having in mind that Bulgaria becomes a regional investment hub with the support of the fund of funds and the European Investment Fund. Well, I will present very briefly without slides. From one side, the Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry, and also the Investment Council at the Chamber. Bulgarian Chamber of Commerce and Industry is the oldest Bulgarian business organization, established more than 226 years ago. And we have a very broad network of contacts and connections with the chambers all over the world. And we can provide support to the Bulgarian companies to sell their products all over the world. Also, we are part of various international business networks, also in Europe and abroad, in order to support this company product presentation. And we have various projects and different contacts with the universities. We have very good and well-developed database with different scientific and startup projects in different sectors, developed in many European funded projects. Also, we can support the scientists to evaluate if their product is innovative, and together with the European Union support to give a certificate that can help them to present the product to various investors and partners. We have also some experience how this kind of business as a spin-off company project development was organized also in the various universities some time ago in Bulgaria, but also abroad. And we can help in many different aspects. Now, I would like to focus also on the Investment Council at the Chamber of Commerce and Industry that gathers together in one platform banks, funds, investors, corporate investors, investment agencies, and guarantee funds in order to provide common support to the business development of the various companies. The Chamber of Commerce has about 50,000 companies members, mainly SMEs. It has very good experience in supporting them. But from our, let's say, investment point of view, we can provide mutual support from our members to various business projects.
Okay, I think Vladimir will take it into a deep questionnaire in the next Q&A.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Vladimir Tomov. Next, I would like to invite Alper, Celen, founding partner at Enhanced Ventures, to present what they are doing.
Thank you very much. I wish I could be there in person as well. I'll just go very quickly. Enhanced Ventures is a 6-year-old venture studio based here in the Middle East and headquartered in Dubai and Riyadh. We operate in 8 countries across the region. As a studio, we have 3 missions. First mission is to build our own ventures, and we have a portfolio of companies, and it has worked out well. Our IRR is 72%. Our early investors are quite happy. We benefit from building things from scratch and increases the chance of success for those ventures by sharing resources, capabilities, talent. And that's what the main mandate for the studio is. And we specialize in fintech and future of commerce. And the second mandate is working with corporate and government partners and building ventures or venture studios for them, with them. And for that, we can't talk about all of them, most of them publicly, but the ones that are publicly announced, we work with Abu Dhabi and Dubai governments and a few other governments that we cannot mention, and some corporations as well. Usually, the studio model ends up being a great tool for corporate or government innovation, where internal innovation systems are too slow or too costly to operate, especially for things beyond horizon. And the third mandate is increasing the intellectual property, doing research and gathering information, and then disseminating that information on the venture studio model. I'm known as the studio man. I'm a big promoter of the studio model globally, and that's how we met the organizers of this event. And we are especially staunch believers that the studio model is a great expediter, a proactive tool for building startups in an ecosystem that is emerging, that may not have all the resources of Silicon Valley, let's say. And to that end, we are board members. I'm a board member of GSSN, the global collective of studios called Global Startup Studio Network, based in Denver, US. My partner, Ritesh, is a board member in Studio Hub, which is its version in Europe. And we generate a lot of IP. Our white paper you can download from our website, Enhance That Online, is the most circulated document in the studio world. We also co-authored the GSSN's white paper. And you can also see all the studios that is in our database, 814 of them around the world. On our website, we have a map of all the studios in the world, and we keep on building onto that. And finally, we teach a course with GSSN, a studio bootcamp for emerging studios to build better best practices, use the best practices, and build better processes. That's what we do.
Thank you very much, Alper. Thank you very much. Last but not least, Angelov, a managing partner at Innovation Capital.
Hi, everyone. Hi, everyone. Thank you for the invitation, Kristina and team. Amazing event. A few words about Innovation Capital. It's a 21.1 million euro venture capital firm that is investing in pre-seed and seed stage companies in Bulgaria. We're sector agnostic. We invest up to 50,000 euro for pre-seed or idea stage companies that are looking for their first check of outside of investment. And we are also backing up companies in more advanced stages, but still in the earlier stages, up until 1 million euro. For the past 2 years, we completed 120 transactions. So we have 120 companies in our portfolio in various industries. All companies are still performing well. We have 0 mortality rate as of now, and we're happy to say that. We have a mandate to invest another 10 million. About half of the investment has been completed, and we have another 10 million to invest in ventures in the next 1.5 years. So if you have an interesting project, happy to engage after that. We are our portfolio companies have attracted follow-on funding surpassing 12 million euro so far, and I'm sure that this will grow. This number will grow. And we have more than 250 employees in the companies that in our portfolio so far. we're backed by the fund of funds, so I'm glad that I went after Kamen, so don't have to go in greater detail of what the fund of funds is and how we are structured. But yeah, we both have public funding and private funding, and we operate as a private entity. And why spin-offs? We are working with corporates as well for pipeline building, for partnerships that helps a lot in terms of what we do. And we believe that we add a lot of value to the ecosystem and also to our partners by working with them and providing the opportunity to invest and to grow and build companies together. So a type of a spin-off is the corporate venture building model that we're developing. For example, we're working with Sirma Group Holding. It's one of the top 10 largest IT companies in Bulgaria.
We're talking about the opposite, like a startup being embedded into a corporation, right?
Correct. It's sort of it's an example of a spin-off, I would say, because startups usually in a spin-off, you would expect that the textbook example of a spin-off is a startup emerging from a company, from a corporation, a bigger company. Our model is a bit reverse, indeed. We work with companies, sourcing them to the company and working with the company, with the corporation. That's the Sirma model, and we're executing an acceleration program for them. We also have a partnership with Bosch.io, another big corporation, international. We're their pipeline and communications partner in scouting. They have an acceleration program that is run in Munich, and we're basically closing their application forms, helping them close their application forms with companies from our portfolio and companies from the Bulgarian ecosystem as well. We also have a partnership with a German corporate venture capital firm called APX. They're the corporate VC behind Porsche and Axel Springer. So
all of them looking for startups in Bulgaria.
They are looking particularly for startups in Bulgaria, and we could be co-investing in deals.
It will lead me to the first question to all of the panel, actually. So, of course, the first question is going to be about Bulgaria. What is the typical structure or different structure most popular and doable to do a spin-off in Bulgaria? Angel, maybe you can answer.
We're not going to invent the wheel here, so we're going to follow the practices abroad. So I believe that the typical structure or the most adequate structure is to develop a private company that has a direct investment from the corporation, from the business partner. There are other versions. For example, you can give equity instead of cash donation, or some kind of a partnership to just work together on an arm's length basis. So providing business opportunities to the startup. That also is an opportunity to work with the corporation without the risk for the corporation of the failure, because in essence that's the big drama, for example, for public companies when they set up a daughter company, a subsidiary. The big risk is that company fails, and the public company loses track of its price, of the share price. So usually ventures that are emerging from corporates are preferred to stay private and to stay outside of the management of the corporates before they go to market, or once they're validated by the market and they're more advanced.
Do you have any example from Bulgaria for a successful spin-off?
Well, a few probably. Maybe we can discuss a spin-off that's went bigger than its mother company. It's not in our portfolio, unfortunately. You probably know the company Credissimo. They have some operational insight and also involvement in the company called Nexo, and Nexo is by a
the
few
blockchain company Nexo for lending.
Exactly, for lending, and they're believed to be either unicorns or closer to that unicorn mark. And for sure, Credissimo is not that
price of the
valuation.
of the cryptocurrency.
Increase the
Yeah,
price
they were
of-
close to $1 billion valuation. It's true, even a bit below.
If I may, I have one question to you, Emil. Actually,
Yes, surprise.
we're working together very tight next to pitch-to-pitch event, which is actually the stage where everybody with idea can validate in front of investor. From your point of view, is there a good environment for a spin-off creation in Bulgaria? And what is the missing? Because you're coming from Israel, you have a long-term background. Tomorrow we'll share more and going deeper next to it. But
Thank you to the question. I would like to focus on one or two words, the missing gap. We haven't talked about it yet in this panel, but the universities in Bulgaria are quite strong. And also the talent there is quite strong, not yet exposed to the real world and to the real working scenario. And then there is the business, and the bridge between them and the spin-offs created by those bridges is something that I'm missing. We create another series of events called Science with the Beer, where we invite those universities, best lecturers with their thesis to explain it to simple people to understand, and maybe form in this way a company. Form out of the thesis, form out of the specialty with a guy from the business to form together a company. It's quite a spin-off, and I think it's something that we are all missing, the bridge between science and business.
So I see other partnership projects between us, because a lot of topics today were raised, a lot of interest, and for sure we need to make more focusing discussions, because as you mentioned, yeah, the talent is strong, the infrastructure exists, the ecosystem is great, and there is willing of the governmental part. So this moment is the perfect for us. So thank you a lot to Emil, Shekerdzhiiski and Angel. Applause for them. Thank you for this panel.